So I thought about 3 points to this gospel. The first one is Jesus is instructing his disciples. So he's standing here, making words, trying to explain something to you. Maybe you listen to the word, but somehow it doesn't reach your heart. And what we heard from the gospel was somehow a quotation from what was very known among the first Christians. It says, a statement of our faith, of our belief, is the Son of Man will be punished and crucified. And he will rise on the third day. And this is somehow the core of our faith. And it might have been like you are here now, you take a photograph, or you do this, or you think about something else. But okay, we know about that. We heard it often enough before, but what does it mean? This is a very common situation. We have words of our faith, and they mean close to nothing. Maybe you are a bit better than the disciple at that time, because the song you were just singing was once again, we bow the knee before the cross. It was a text, wasn't it?
And I look upon the cross.
You look upon the cross. So this would be already, maybe you meant it, maybe you were just singing it, but it expresses in modern words something that would be our faith, our desire. But does it really touch my heart? Do I really mean it? Would it be something that is important for me? Second point, when it comes to the disciples at that time, it obviously meant nothing to them. Because on their way back from the mountain where Jesus, he brought them to a very special place, wanted to be alone with them, to teach them something, and it didn't work out. He taught them something, and they went back on their way back. They spoke about several things, and Jesus asked them, what is it? So what would you talk about on the way back? The disciples, Jesus asked them, what did you speak about? They said, we spoke about who is the most important one. Maybe this is very clear here. The most important one is the Masul, so we won't speak about this one. No, who is the most important one? Is that something you would speak about? Of course not. Is that something you would think about? Maybe. Is this way of thinking something you would think? Maybe yes. So the second point is teaching by Jesus himself didn't work out, so why should it help when I gave a homily? So what does Jesus do? And that's the third point. So he gives them an example. And I said so many times over the last days that Chabrough and the camps is a school of faith. And by school of faith is not that I meant what you learn in words or in sentences, but what you learned about the experience with the guests and the experience as a team. And everything we tried during the prayer times is to help you to understand that this is your school of faith. What does Jesus do? He brings a child. And a child means a helpless person. Childs hadn't had a good reputation at the time. They meant nothing to the people. It's not like today where we somehow have a positive attitude toward children. At that time a child means something like a disabled person who nobody likes, or a refugee who nobody wants to have, or a homeless who is smelling, or a beggar who is boring. And Jesus brings this person into the middle of the disciples and says, be aware of him and welcome this person. Look at him as a person. And that is how you will start to have faith in what I said. Once again, I look up to the cross means looking down on those people who usually mean nothing to me, who are not important to me, because I am thinking on what is the most important thing to have. So my 3 points to this gospel is Jesus tries once again to teach, to say something. We have confession of the faith. We make so many words during our meetings and prayers. But our thinking, when we carefully reflect on what we think about, is something totally else important. So the one thing that could change you, really change you and bring faith to your heart, is the experience with the child in your middle. And the guest you are here for. You have been here for. So if you take it like that, you had an incredible school of faith over the last 4 weeks. And it was, may I quote, awesome what you did. Thank you. Amen.